Hey everybody, it's Roger here. I'm here to do a probably 5-6 month update of my experience having the New Bright Heavy Metal. Just an update since I did the review on it. And just tell you some of the quirks and things I noticed odd about this thing, which brings us to option 1. So we are in the garage. It's not exactly warm outside. And this RC is not particularly fond of the cold. Let me show you what I mean. Now it's not super cold out today. The sun's still kind of out, but let me see if it's cold enough to where it'll do. Yep, there we go. So, I have it held down right now, full throttle. It's twitching. You can still steer. But that's all she'll do. So, this RC is a little interesting. If it's cold, it will not run. That's not to say once you throw it out in the cold it won't run. It's just if you're trying to start it and it's cold, it will not do anything. It will twitch. It'll try to move. And if I lift it up, sometimes it'll go. Nope, not even that. So here's that fix for that. What we're going to do is we're going to go right over this heat vent right here. Make sure it's actually open. No, I don't believe this one is. There we go. We're just going to place you over that, and we're going to thaw her out like a diesel. So yeah, like I said, not exactly warm here, but it's been about 10-15 minutes. It's thawed out, and now, look, suddenly it's all back. Yeah, it's just wild, and that's not something limited to just this New Bright RC. I've noticed the other one I have also has the same issue of if it's super cold and you let it sit out here, you have to thaw it out before it works. Okay, maybe it didn't quite thaw it all the way. Now, an issue I have noticed also across them universally, except with that very small one I just mentioned, is whenever they come under a continuous heavy load, they will go into this low power mode and then stop. This one doesn't do it nearly as bad as the other one does it. The other one does it considerably more, where if it just comes under, particularly like this, just driving around the grass, leaves, it comes under a continuous load, all of a sudden it will just go into this limp mode essentially, and then it'll stop if it's still under the load. If you get it out of the load, it'll stay in the limp mode for a bit, so say like on the concrete or something, and then it goes back into normal like driving mode. It's very strange. I'm not sure if it's to not overload the battery or not overload the electronics. I'm not really sure, but one thing this one in particular is very bad at, as you could probably tell, is handling, and that's due to that issue with all the New Brights having the wheels just kind of wobble around like they're not fucking attached. I've tried to straighten this one up and get it as tightened as I could, the best I could, but it's still not helped very much because it turns decently far on its own. It's just that whole wibble wobble shit. Like, look at this. Look how much wiggle it is. There's so much wiggle in that. Because I mean, if you lift it. But anyways. Okay, there's not quite a good way to display that without having the camera not in my hand. But you get the picture, because I mean, see right now it's doing alright, but then it comes under the heavy load and then all of a sudden we're just not turning anymore. See right there, I'm trying to turn left. We're still trying to turn left. We're still trying to turn left. We're still trying to turn left. And there we go. It only took 3 football fields. So yeah, steering, not great. But that's a quality control issue with New Bright. Everything else on the RC seems to be alright, just that part in particular. Which it may have been addressed, I'm not really sure, because the other New Bright I have, which was I bought that one probably a couple months after I had this one, does not have that issue. So, not really sure. I'm not sure if it's just that model, or just they got maybe finally fixed whatever, because I remember for a couple months they were just, every New Bright RC had that issue super bad, so. Yeah, not really sure why, but other than that though, I mean, really I don't have many complaints with this RC. The shutting off thing, whenever it gets under heavy load, yeah, there it goes, see? Came under a heavy load and it just stopped. We're in limp mode and it's out. You can hear it, because if I was to completely hold it still right now and just floor it, there would be no sound because it's running at full power. But if it's in that limp mode, you'll hear the sound of the ECU kicking in and just limiting the power for some reason. Why that reason is, I don't know. I'm not an engineer. Because if it didn't have that issue, honestly, this thing would be a very capable crawler. but because you can't put it under a heavy load, and well, that's basically all crawling is, you can't really crawl a whole lot with it, because it's, unless you want to wait a whole lot, because you'll have to wait for it to kick out of that mode constantly. That's kind of annoying. Now, I'm not sure if that's just my particular unit issue or an entire unit issue, because I have seen some people, there it goes, oh, it kicked out. But I have seen some people take these crawling, and theirs did very well. I mean, I haven't exactly gone out to a good crawling area with this one, so I might do well at it. I'm not really sure. I haven't really taken it anywhere besides my yard, honestly. I've been meaning to take it out to a lake that's nearby, not in the water, because this is not waterproof, but because there's some good crawling areas around there. I just have not gotten around to doing it because it's not warm. Again, I'm trying to turn left. There we go. The front wheels, man, they're like jello. But again, for whatever I paid for this, and I know it wasn't much. I think it was like 50 bucks or something. I really don't remember. It's been about 6 months. I really don't remember. It's really not that bad. Oh, limp mode again. There we go. Also, reverse is very limited in limp mode. Reverse is a lot more sensitive about that. At least with this one, you'd still get the full power. With the other New Bright I have, if you go into reverse, it's just only limp mode. It will not actually give you the full power in reverse. This one will give you full power in reverse, but it'll kick into that limp mode a lot sooner. And we're in it again. Oh, we're still in limp mode. See if it'll kick out of it. There it goes. See, it's like a power boost. It just suddenly kicks in. Come on. Come on, kick out of it. There you go. And it just suddenly kicks out of it and you got full power. Very strange, very odd. But anyways, I mean, other than that, is this ice or water? I can't tell. It's just water. But either ways, overall, I mean, honestly, if you're curious about this, I'd say go for it. Pick one up. You can get them in the F-150 Raptor. You can get them in the, there's a Chevrolet Silverado 1500. There's a Jeep, and I think there's a Dodge Ram as well. I mean, the body on this thing is super sick. If I can, let's see if I can get it to actually move over here without having to do a 27-point turn. Good enough. Come here, you. And the body on this thing is, I love the way this thing looks. The decals on it are super cool. Indeed, metal body, that's super unique. And I mean, metal body is definitely tough. It's overall got a really cool look to it with some surprising torque. I mean, for a New Bright, honestly, I think this is a step in the right direction compared to where they've been at for the last while, because for the last while now, I know, especially the 2000s, if there was any RC they made that looked like this, it gets stuck on this, man. They always had no torque. So this is definitely a step in the right direction. Definitely needs some work still, but overall, I'm not really complaining. I'm pretty satisfied with this. The controller, on the other hand, yeah, it kind of sucks. Particularly this. I mean, there's no really feeling to this at all. You gotta turn a good bit to actually get it to turn, and even then, it's like, it feels extremely cheap. But I mean, not surprised. Same with the throttle. Ow. It's a little bit better with the throttle, but overall controller, I mean, it's fine. I mean, this is a little bit further away from my thumb than I'd like, and I wish RC controllers would quit doing that. I mean, other than that, I can't say I really have very many complaints with this. This is a pretty solid RC. I don't like that the battery is built in. I don't particularly like that, but it is what it is. Basically means whenever it's dead, it's really fucked at that point. You might as well throw it away. I'm sure you can replace it, but it's not worth it. But yeah, anyways, solid little RC.